Welcome to the Sri Shakti series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner Prime Info Tech Solution. Theme is Courage in Cyber Story of Strategy, Strength and Soul. We are with us Palak Dixit, Regional Sales Head EMEA at reputed US-based cybersecurity company. With a fearless spirit for building from scratch, Palak has navigated continents, industries, and challenges with unmatched grit and grace. From leading cybersecurity alliances to reviving cultural heritage through her entrepreneurial venture, Karigari-e-Awadh, she exemplifies what it means to be a modern day trailblazer. Join us as we uncover the professional drive and personal dimension of a woman who proves that strength lies in both spreadsheets and soul work. So, welcome, Palak, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you so much, Amul. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah. So, let me explain you. There will be three rounds: professional journey, personal journey, and a surprise rapid fire where we'll be in the hot seat. And you have to be witty, funny, and quick. And here's your gift, which will be autograph. But first, you have to win it.
Great, great, great. I'm excited for that.
So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host of Coffee Conversation, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startups, and SMEs with world class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Palak, how has your career shaped up, and what were the key defining moments you had?
So I would say that I've been very grateful for the career that I have, the profession that I'm into. It was not planned at all, and I feel that very few people get the chance to do what they actually love, and I've been doing that, so it's all good. But it's like whatever I've planned to do, it has not happened. I plan to become I because I by education I'm a chemical engineer, so I was to pursue my PhD and masters, and I was supposed to be a scientist, but God has other plans. So somehow I got into the IT field. I switched three industries, and now I'm in cybersecurity, and also started my own venture, that is Karigari Awadh, for the handicrafts business. So different defining moments. But yeah, that switch from chemical engineering to IT was actually the defining moment for me, for my career. I'm very grateful for everything.
Wow. So, let's dive deep into the conversation. How do you manage cultural nuances while building partnerships in the EMEA region?
Cultural nuances. I mean, see, being in sales, I have learned that to connect with people is the core. I mean, and it irrespective of whichever group they are, if you're able to connect with with the person, whether the person sitting in India or in Africa or in Middle East or in the US, if we need to find out that pointer so that we connect with the person, so it becomes very easy after a while and becomes very smooth. And in sales we say that people buy from people, so if you're able to connect, you're able to build trust, and then partnership eventually grows.
Wow. So, Palak, sales in tech, especially cybersecurity, is notoriously tough. What keeps you motivated through highs and lows?
First of all, that I really love my job is one thing for sure. Whether it's cybersecurity or handicrafts, I'm just very passionate and obsessed. Actually, I'm obsessed with the job or the work that I do, and I think that is the only motivator I need. And I've been very blessed with very good managers. So, all like throughout, like since my very first job, I've been blessed with very good managers. So, who have given me the opportunities to grow, who have given me opportunities to learn and like stretch myself, they make me come out of my comfort zone, which is actually I love. So that become the motivator ultimately for me, and it keeps me on my toes all the time, which I actually love.
Wow. So, Palak, you have worked with both Indian and international teams. What's your approach to leading diverse groups?
Again, I mean, because it's all about the relationships, irrespective of at least the kind of work and the kind of industry or the job profile that I have, sales and marketing. So it's all about, because we are supposed to, my job entails that the talking to people, connecting, and I work in the channel partner model. And before Shark Striker as well, before the cybersecurity company that I work for, before that as well, sales is all about connecting, building relationships, building partnerships, building trust. So if someone trusts you, then that's the core. I mean, nothing else is required. So if someone trusts you, you might be sitting in India and you might be talking to a person sitting in Rwanda or Malawi or any other country in the world, and it would become very easy. You don't even need to meet them. You can virtually do every damn thing, and the person will actually trust you and do everything for you.
Wow.
That's
So,
my
what's
opinion.
the biggest leadership lesson you have learned while scaling from a business specialist to a regional sales head?
So the major leadership lesson that I've learned is the patience. I would say that it requires a lot of patience, channel sales, because again, I'm talking a lot about building relationship because I've been doing that, and that's the
Mm.
core of any business. Whether you do your own thing or you do it for some other company, it's all about building relationships. So, but it takes time. It doesn't
Mm.
happen in one call. It doesn't happen like that, so it takes time. So the biggest is that the patience that I've learned with time. And the second thing is that taking ownership of your work, it is very important. That if I've been given one territory or one geography, let's say, to talk about or to build a business or to build a channel, so I'm supposed to take care of the ownership of my job on of my work. So that I have learned with time. I didn't know that in my first job.
Wow. So, Palak, you've successfully juggled business development strategy, customer experiences. Which aspect excites you the most and why?
Um, I am actually very much driven by that challenging factor needs to be there. So I call it in my own language, I call it adrenaline rush that I need every single day. So if I've been given something new, the challenging, so I get very excited. So that's why the business development sales, because there's so many gray areas there. You don't know the market. And I've been always given, I think from past 12 or 13 years, it's like the my life's pattern has become that my life would throw me at something very uncomfortable, unknown territory, and I'm supposed to start from scratch. But that kind of excites me now. So if I, and because I get bored easily as well, I cannot do the same thing every single day. So that is that one thing which excites me. And luckily, I mean, I keep getting that kind of work.
Yeah. So, Palak, cybersecurity is constantly evolving. How do you ensure you stay ahead of the curve?
Um, because my job entails lots of research,
Mhm.
researching and reading and like analyzing the markets, global market, Indian market, whichever territory I'm looking into. So constantly reading, constantly staying updated with what all trends are happening, what are the different companies are doing, what are other vendors are doing, everything that is there. So this is the only way to stay updated. And also, while my job involves a lot of interacting with different companies, different people, so that also adds up to that knowledge, to staying updated with what all things are happening in the world.
Wow. So, Palak, who has influenced you personally and professionally?
Influenced like different set of people, I would say, at different stages of my life. But I think it eventually starts from your family. So my parents, my father, so I've learned the work ethics from my father, and then that communication and building relationship, I think I've learned from my mother. And then I have got to work with excellent people, my managers or my colleagues. So I've always been, as I always say that, like, I believe that the kind of people you are around with, it actually shapes you and your personality and your professional personal journey. So yeah, majorly my parents, and then eventually the circle that I have, they all influence me every day, influence and inspire me every single day.
Wow. So, Palak, if you could implement one change in the global tech sales ecosystem, what would it be?
I really feel that sales, like the market has changed completely. The consumer or the customer is very much aware at this point of time. So just feature selling will not work. So it needs to be consultative sales. This is what it needs to be about. Whether you sell a refrigerator or you sell a cybersecurity product, or you sell a handcrafted thing. You need to understand the what the customer needs, and then accordingly we talk about it. It's not that you just sell. It's not. It doesn't work like that anymore, and it need does not need to work like that anymore. So I think the industry is also shaping like that, but it should happen more often, and people should understand that it's just doing some 200 calls will not work. We have a structured approach in terms of selling, and it needs to be always customer centric. Whatever the customer needs, we should be talking about that, and we should be consulting them accordingly.
So after pandemic, like it has become more of the digital world. So how is a channel sales have adapted, and what are your experiences now related to digital world for cybersecurity products?
Since I joined the cybersecurity industry in 2020, and that was the COVID era, so at the almost for 1 year, it was a bit difficult for because we were interacting virtually. Like I'm sitting in India, in Ahmedabad, let's say, and then I'm supposed to interact with someone sitting in Middle East. So it was a little bit difficult for that point of time because it needs to be like we used to meet people and do attend the events and all, but eventually I feel that people have learned that, and people have become more understanding of this approach, and they have become comfortable as well. And earlier that they don't have trust, that I don't know whether this person is sitting, they are not in my country. But now it's not like that. I feel that the mindset has also changed a little bit, that definitely that personal touch or on-site meetings or in-person meetings are always going to be the best. But yeah, the mindset of people have changed globally since pandemic, that people are not just that, not that one approach is not there, that if you're not meeting then I will not buy. No, if you interact with them, you're trying to build that relationship with them, connect with them, then definitely that trust will happen eventually.
Wow. So what changes have come in for conferences, exhibitions, road shows after pandemic, and how have partners and what do you say, sales head like you adapting, because they before pandemic there were new ways, there were old ways of getting partners to the events. What are the new ways of attracting partners to come for events and retaining their attention and getting them to promote your products?
I feel that consistency. I mean, I think earlier people used to rely more on the, like, if you're not attending the events, or if you're not going to meet them, then sale will not happen or people are not going to buy. But that mindset has changed. Me as a person, we have become more available for my clients, and trying to connect with them more, trying to be available for them more. As a salesperson, you are anyway supposed to be like that. You should always be in the reach of your client. So we have adapted like that. And again, I mean, things have gone back to normal a lot after, I think, after COVID. But still, I mean, like we started doing the webinars, and we found actually more ways of connecting with people, reaching out to more people. And it has actually worked very well for companies. For in cybersecurity, at least I can see that people have figured out new channels of meeting people or connecting with people, which has actually worked for us. And it has also bring the good revenue as well for the companies in the longer run. And now
Wow.
that we have resumed the offline like workshops and events, so it is like adding on top of it. So it's all
Yeah.
good, I feel.
So, what's the one a memorable moment with your channel partner where uh, both of you all did something, the end customer and the partner and you were successful for creating a huge impact and bringing revenues or experience for the company through the partner?
Okay. So Okay, yeah, I will just say what is just coming right to me in my mind. So there's a story of one of my customer. It was my first customer in at Shark Striker, and I was also very new for the industry. I didn't know much about the channel model or cybersecurity, etc. But so the customer is based in Saudi Arabia, and we like I'm still managing that customer and that partner as well. So they came with one requirement, that very small requirement, and I was also not mature at that point of time, like from cybersecurity perspective. I just knew that sales is like I have to sell, but I understood that this is something more to it. So we understood the customer's requirement. Of course, with my team's help at Chat Striker, we worked on the customer, tried to understand and how we can help them with the best of the services, and eventually we help them with the major compliance requirement that they have, like cybersecurity compliance requirement that they have, and we are eventually help them get the certification as well, which probably they were not able to get with the past vendor, and they are still serving. They are still with us with Shark Striker, and I think the fifth year renewal is there, and they still. I mean, it's now I don't even need to formally email to him. He just messages me that Palak, this needs to be done. Can you get it done? And it's very smooth, and it was my first customer, so I still remember that story. It's a very memorable as well, because it was a learning curve for me as well, and as a company as well, because for the geography that I was working into, it was kind of the initial customers, and they're still with us, and they have trust on us.
So regarding अपना ये GDPR, how does sales and support work together? कि policies, DPR privacy policies are maintained for the end user, the client.
So actually, we provide compliance management service. It's a major service category at Shark Striker. So we have a compliance team as well. So we work with the customer. Like for other services, we have set packages and all. Pack like service packages are there for other services, but for compliance it's very dynamic. So my compliance team and the service delivery team, they both of them work very closely with the customer, so that we serve to them as per the requirement. So because a lot of time, because the requirements are pretty dynamic, sometimes they just have few these policy procedures, sometimes they don't have anything. So we first understand what they need and then provide the customized project. And sometimes they don't even know what do they need. They don't even understand the controls which are there, not only in GDPR, for other compliances or framework as well. So we help them, we consult them, and then we do the needful from our side.
Wow. So, Palak, as per the conversation, you have to deal with service delivery, support, compliance. So, how do you maintain, what do you say, what are the key elements for a working relationship which ensures more sales come for you because you have to rely on your different stakeholders in the company?
A lot of coordination work actually. I mean, I've been an introvert person, and it's surprising that I got into sales. It's completely opposite, but as I said, that's the life pattern that I have. But a lot of coordination goes into, because we have to like from sales we have to coordinate with different team members. So a lot of coordination and learning comes into the picture here, and I've also learned that while working at my current company. Like I'm not a technical person. Like I'm a chemical engineer by education, but we need to understand the technicalities of cybersecurity and service and all. But yeah, if you have a good team, like we have here, we have a very good team. So good coordination works really well. So eventually, the good experience with the customer is maintained.
Wow. So, let's come to your passion, Karigari Award. What the story behind naming of your this startup? And let me frame the question for you. Karigiri Award is a beautiful contrast to cybersecurity. What inspired you to launch this heritage-driven venture, and how has the journey been? And how was the experience working with artisans?
Okay. So Karigari Awadh, it actually just happens like that. I started this around 2 years it's been, and it's still very small venture. I'm doing it alongside my job. After working hours and all, I do that. But it started as a hobby. I just wanted to see how it goes because I don't come from a business family. I come from a service based family. We all have the academics and all that stuff. So no one in my entire family knows business. But I wanted to see how it works. So it kind of, I just went into it and see how it will work and how it entails, what all things it entails. So that's how I got into it. And then I think learned, I don't know. And I'm from UP. I'm from like I was raised, I mean, I've grown in Kanpur, Lucknow, and Varanasi. So I've done my education from Lucknow. So that's how it started with the chicken curry clothing and got in touch with the vendors and tried to understand how this works. And lots of things happened and I tried to understand. And then eventually I figured that out, I got a good response as well. So then I started thinking and started researching as well. Then I got more interested in all these things. And I also always have this love for the Indian cultures and traditions and artifacts and handicraft. So I would rather buy from a handicraft store than a luxury brand. I would always do that. So I think that love for the Indian, like Indian wear and traditional things actually brought me to it. And now I'm trying to do something out of it. It's still at a very nascent stage, but yeah, I hope it does
Wow.
well sometime in the future.
Good. So, how do you balance the rigor of your corporate role with your creative uh, entrepreneurial venture?
I think loving both the jobs is the key, that you figure it out to do it all, like balance it all. Because, and I'm a little crazy as well for my goals, so it eventually just works. It's been working so accordingly because I'm passionate and I'm obsessed and I love what I'm doing. That's the only thing that I think I'm able to balance it out.
Wow. So, my last question, what advice would you give to young women entering male-dominated tech sales environment?
Wow, great question. Like this is, I just love this question. I have just one mantra that I think I got this from my father. Work ethic, as I said, that we should do always do the best damn job. Whatever you do, just do the best damn thing. Whether you whatever job you have, just do the best damn thing, and then you will be noticed. And for women, especially, I would say that stay confident and unapologetic, because lots of time we feel that we're not doing good or we are not enough. So that's not actually true. We lack confidence. So don't do that. We stay confident and stay unapologetic in whatever you do.
Wow. So, let's go to next round and understand Palak as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
As I said, I mean, I come from a service based family. My father is a retired banker, and then my mother is a homemaker, and I have one sibling, and so she's a scientist at BHU. So that's how the I got the PhD. Kira, that I should also do that, elder sister. So that's where I come from, and I was raised. I was born in Kanpur, and then in Lucknow and Varanasi, my whole I think till 2017 or 18 I was in Lucknow, and then I came to Ahmedabad. And now I recently got married into a Gujarati family, so I've Gujarati family. The Gujarati touch is also there, so I'm settled in Ahmedabad. And both me and my husband are in sales. So yeah, I mean, this is, and I think working, I mean, here also the two cultures are being mixed. From North Indian and Gujarati. So again, I'm doing diverse culture, and but yeah, it's all good. My family is very supportive of whatever I'm doing.
Wow. So, let's go to your days at Uttar Pradesh Technical University. What are your memories and experiences?
So I did my chemical engineering from the university, and I spent 4 years in Lucknow. And those days were the most important because I came out of my house, and it also shaped me in so many ways. And it gave me good friends. And when you're an engineer, I mean, might be a little biased, but engineers can do everything. So I think that understanding I got after completing my engineering. So, and that doing every very good things or do the best damn thing, actually, I think I got while doing my engineering. So, and it still, it is with me. I don't do, I mean, I'm not in chemical engineering domain right now, but yeah, all those learnings and experience are still with me.
Wow. So, what's one memory from your childhood that still inspires you today?
Childhood memory, I mean, so many memories I have, but I think I mean, my both my parents, they have this thing that they wanted to make both me and my sister financially independent. So they pushed us for the same. So like my father would always send us, me and my sister, and that go for any query, like go to that shop and go to that bus stop. I'm standing here, just go and check for the ticket price or something like that. He could have done it on his own for sure, but he taught us that you should be doing all these things on your own. So I think that is something very inspiring, and I that's how we got this confidence that okay, wherever we go we can do it. So that is one thing, and there's so many things, but yeah, this is what I it came to my mind at this point of time.
Wow. So, Palak, when you're not strategizing business moves, what's your go-to comfort activity?
I love staying at home. I love my home and I love staying at home. I would rather be at my home reading because I'm an avid reader as well. I like to read a lot. So I would rather be at home and read and not do anything than going out and party. So
Wow.
it's a bit, I don't know, probably opposite to what I job profile and profession I've been into. But yeah, this is something that I really need at least once in a week, at least that I stay some time at home in my room.
Wow. So, which is the book you're reading right now?
So I'm reading this one book by Oprah Winfrey. It's called What I Know for Sure. She wrote it almost, I think, 10 or 15 years back. So it has small excerpts written by Oprah Winfrey. And actually reading two books. This is one of it. The other one, it's something about patience. But currently I'm reading this.
Wow. So, Palak, in the conversation you said that you are North Indian and are married into a Gujarati family. So, for all those ye brides out there who uh, come into, what do you say, different culture. So how does one balance, because you have come from a different culture, food, everything, and now coming to your husband's family, which they have different cultures, different food styles. So how do you balance ke by both you are bringing harmony and there is enjoyment in the food and culture? How do you balance that?
I think a lot of it, I won't take the entire credit for it. A lot of it goes to my husband and my in-laws side as well, because see, I come into this family, right? So they are very understanding, and both of us needs to understand that not everything needs to go one way. So I step one forward and they another take from their side. So that understanding is something that is very important. That I mean, some of the things I will adopt, some of the things I might not adopt. I might adopt after some time, but probably not right now. But that understanding is the core, and that needs to come first of all from your partner. And then eventually, I think everything else takes place. And I need to do the same, because if I'm coming into Gujarati family, my husband would also be interacting with the North Indians, that,
Mm.
UP wala people also. So if both of us have that understanding, then I think it would go well. But it's very recent. I mean, I got married last year itself. So it's only 1 year. So
Oh,
I don't know. Probably if we speak after another year, I might say something else. But
yes,
yeah, this is how I've
definitely.
been. Yeah, I mean, this is what has been like, as of now.
Wow. So if your friends will describe you in three words, what would it be?
My friends, so I think they would say that I'm passionate. My close friends would say that I'm a little crazy. And then my colleagues would say that she like I mean I think I'm reliable, that if they have given something to me, I would make sure that I do it with conviction as well. And yeah, yeah, I mean, they said that she has a good heart. She might not look like that, but she has a good heart. I
Wow.
think this is what they would say.
So, what are your plans for 2025, personally and professionally?
2025, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I think probably fitness. I want to work on myself for my fitness. I want to learn more, and I want to, because I have this thing that I need to keep learning something new. So I hope I get to learn more. And at my company at Shark Striker, from cybersecurity perspective, I hope I get to explore something new. So this is the plan, and probably I get to travel more, because I've not been able to travel a lot, which I've been earning for, like yearning for so many months probably. So I hope I get to travel more, learn more, and stay fit.
So, suppose you've got 1 week away from work. So, where would you travel and why?
1 week away from work. I mean, anywhere, I think beach or the seaside, I think I would travel, or probably Europe. It's more like a dream for me that I want to travel and go to Europe. Probably I get to do that, then I definitely go there. Either beach or Europe.
Wow. So, my last one, a googly one. Describe Palak in one line.
I think Palak is, she has a good heart. She's passionate, and whatever she decides to do, she usually is into. I mean, I'm more like a black and white person. There are very less gray areas that I get into, whether I'm in it or I'm not. It's like that. But yeah, she thinks deeply, and she cares for people around her. So yeah, I
Wow.
think, yeah.
Good. So, let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Your go to comfort food.
दाल चावल, घर का दाल चावल.
Wow. Your favorite color.
It keeps changing. It depends on my mood. So currently, I'm liking white a lot.
Wow. You're a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person, for sure.
One word that defines your journey.
Exciting.
Wow. So, favorite Kanpur cuisine.
Chaat, Kanpur ki chaat. I really miss that as well, being in Ahmedabad.
Wow. So now, uh, favorite Gujarati food dish that you have learned, enjoyed, and want to cook again and again.
Gujarati dish, I would say there's so many actually. Gujarati food has this one thing that they add different flavors into it. So I'm not able to remember one. That's weird. Um, yeah, they have this one nashta that is called Save Khamri, which I really
Mhm.
like. So that is one.
Best piece of advice received.
Best, that I need to be more patient.
Tea or coffee to recharge.
Sorry, I couldn't get a
Tea
question.
or coffee to recharge.
Okay, tea, always. But today I'm having coffee because coffee
Okay.
conversation.
Okay, let's raise.
Yeah.
Wow. So you did well, and here's a book related to
Thank
sales,
you
niche
so
marketing.
much.
So, friends,
Thank you so
it was a
much.
lovely conversation having with Palak. Now she's become what do you say, half Gujarati, but she's not left her roots. Like she is promoting Indian handicrafts through her venture, ye Karigari Award. That's very beautiful. Managing career and passion, and that's very wonderful of her. And coming from apna ye chemical engineering and now into the sales for cybersecurity, that is also very exciting. But she's taken up and she's doing good work. So all those women out there, not only women engineering people out there, uh, they can take up, go into sales and watch the episode, which Palak will inspire you how she has gone and she's doing beautifully, handling different culture, building up partnerships, channel partners in the EMA market. So not only Indian market, she has gone global. So he experiencing different cultures. So that is what our coffee speakers bring to the table. Subscribe to the Coffee Corner Show where there are 500 speakers inspiring their journees. And if you want to feature like Palak, visit our website or our LinkedIn page, the Emerging India Forum, or connect with a coffee speaker to put in a word and to invite you to over a cup of coffee for coffee conversations. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amir, for having me. It was a great conversation. Thank you so much. And you have a
Yeah.
good team, really, really good team, Amir, for sure. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.